Welcome to The Third Side with your host, John and Stacey Edwards from thirdsideparanormal.com. Hello and welcome to The Third Side. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And today we have a really cool, grooviest, conspiracy type show for you. This is the show that's going to make the program Prism completely flag us, for sure. We're going to talk about such things as Jade Helm 15. We're going to talk about such things as the possibilities of where the mysterious booms came from. And we're going to talk about the fact that in a couple of months, the whole West Coast is going to be under martial law. No, of course not.
You could have just typed how to make a bomb into Google and been watched less than you are now.
That's good, though. That's good. I want us to be like the anarchist cookbook of podcasts.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as we type it in, they watch us for good. I mean, they might as well. It's I'm tired of the white vans just being out there and us not knowing who they are.
Right.
I kind of want them to come in and have coffee. And this will happen. Anyway, thirdsideparanormal.com. That's your address to come find everything there is to be about conspiracies, but you have to find it because it is a conspiracy that it's actually on there or not. You have to look around. Facebook.com/thirdside. We don't put quite as much on there because Facebook's kind of scary and they monitor us anyway, and they log in from like every remote government location in the country.
Just to yours.
Just to mine.
Watch mine because I'm good.
You are not good. She's not good. She's not good. Spellcaster. Twitter at 3SidePara. That's number 3. Side Para. There you're going to find all kinds of, it's cool stuff. Kind of like what you'd find on Facebook without the effort. On YouTube, subscribe. Just find us and, hit subscribe. I heard somebody calling his people subs the other day. I was trying to figure out if the guy was hungry, what he was talking about. I guess you're all subs. So
if you subscribe, you're subs?
Yeah, I want more subs. Okay. Please give me more subs. iTunes, leave a review, subscribe on there, and it's kind of cool. I've recently found out that just like our old show,
right,
we have like thousands of people listening to the podcast. Now listen, people, this is really important. Now I've talked about this before, but this time I'm using my serious face.
Wow, he doesn't pull a serious face out.
It doesn't get pulled out very much. I need you to join us. And the way you join us is if you listen to the show, we greatly appreciate that fact.
Yes, we do.
But please come and watch us on the YouTube.
The YouTube?
Because I'm old. Come and watch us on the YouTube. And it'll be a beautiful thing, a beautiful experience. I'm telling you, you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what we show. When you watch,
I don't think you can do that on video, can you?
when you watch on the YouTube. So anyway, we got a great show for you, and we're really excited about today's show because we really are going to break down some walls we've been kind of leaving up for a while, and I think it's just about time for some paranormal news.
It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
And now for some news.
What
were you doing under the table there?
Not a thing.
Okay. So let's start out by talking about some stuff that's been going on around the world, some really crazy things. And we're going to start talking with the volcano.
The volcano.
Yes. And I know we shared videos of the volcano erupting, just amazing videos.
Yes.
So this is an article that I found, and there's a video.
And just let me add, it's not just a volcanic eruption. I knew, I mean, because we have those all the time. And, you know, we look and like, hey, that Mexican volcano is going off again. Yay. You know, look, the Hawaii one's taking over some more, you know, whatever. You know, they happen quite often.
Right.
I didn't know. I mean, I'm not a big volcaneer. I don't keep up with, you know, all the volcanic activity in the world. Don't really care that much. Think it's cool to see them blow up and stuff. But I woke up
Right.
when this happened, which has been a couple of weeks back when the volcano erupted.
Right.
But, you know, I woke up and I told you, I was like, this is big. This is going to affect other stuff. That's what, I think that was my exact words to you.
I think so, yeah.
And continue, but it's just when it's still big. It's still, there's still more to it.
It is. Well, this particular volcano has been dormant for over 40 years. And so it was kind of a shock when, you know, they weren't expecting it
Yeah, a little bit.
to erupt. And it's funny because we watched that video that one guy, he was just out hiking and he happened to be videotaping a waterfall or something. And then behind where he was, he caught the actual eruption of the volcano, which was really cool. But
You know what? That guy starts running or whatever, so you don't really get the full. If I'm ever there, and Mother Nature, if you're listening, try me. If I'm ever there and there's some huge like tsunami, okay, or there's a massive volcano, all right, I'm going to get screwed either way. Instead of running, I'm going to pull my junk out of my pants, hold my camera with the other hand, and scream, "Come on, baby," the whole way. Because I want to have that best shot ever. You know what I mean? Like, come on,
Right.
come on, come on. No running, no shaky camera. We're going to get the best shot ever.
problem is that it'll get ruined if you
No,
actually
no,
get
not
hit
if
on
it's
it. So
waterproof. Not if it's waterproof.
what if it's a volcano?
Well,
I don't think there are lava-proof cameras.
Well, then we need a Wi-Fi signal to space. Just for me. Put it on me at all times. I'm just saying.
Anyway.
Next time something happens to one of you guys out there like that, balls of steel is required to have the best shot.
Is that a challenge?
It's a
I think you
challenge.
just challenged Mother Nature.
It's like the third,
kind of dangerous.
the third side I'm going to die challenge.
All right. Anyway,
And we don't have to worry about paying them.
we didn't offer to. We didn't offer to.
No, we didn't.
Okay. So anyway, so the volcano erupted. It shot smoke and ash over 6 miles into the air. Just crazy. But there's an article where a news station that was covering the eruption recorded what they considered to be UFOs. There was lights and that sort of thing all around. And there was, the first time there was like five lights in a line that they thought was like 5 separate UFOs. And then there was like 2 more higher up in the air a little later on. So there's a video and they've caught all these lights and, you know, it's been going around as a UFO sighting, which you see a lot
Right.
at volcanoes.
Right.
So is it a UFO? Is it not? Maybe, but there is actually a
Atmospheric.
scientific
Right.
explanation. And I don't know if I can say this right.
Please try.
Yeah, Justin was schooling me on it before the show, so I could say it right, but I still don't think I'm going to get it because it's been too long now. But they're called triboluminescence.
Oh, I think you did a great job.
Did I do it right? Did I
Yeah,
do it right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's
We
pretty
need a
much
round of the
just
clap.
just lights that are caused by seismic tension. And it's pretty common. It happens a lot. So that's why you see those things around volcanoes
It's like ball lightning.
all the time. Yes. I think I think he even said that's what happens at Brown Mountain. That's why they always have the Brown Mountain lights. But no, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one either.
Yeah, that's a weird one. So
Brown Mountain's a weird place. When we went there, it was just
it
it's
is
just kind of
weird.
it's kind of a nasty tinny feel to it.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right.
You said tinny, and it just made me think of
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, so so if you happen to see this video, look at it. But I don't think UFO.
I don't know. I know fo of UFO. I don't.
No foe. No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, let's move on. Well, speaking of the global things that are happening and what you said about the volcano, then of course we know what happened
Right.
after that, and that was that terrible, terrible earthquake.
Yeah. That was
Nepal.
very bad.
Terrible earthquake in Nepal.
And it sucks because that's like on my short list of places I wanted to escape to and hide whenever I get the chance.
Right.
And
Well, you know, there is a pattern of
I wanted to go to
earthquakes
Kathmandu.
there, but I mean, I'm sure it's going to be like another 80 years or something before there's another big earthquake. That's how long it's been since the last one. But they did have the big earthquake. It was terrible. The odd thing about this is that there were actually scientists in Nepal right before the earthquake happened. that they actually said there's going to be an earthquake and it's going to happen here, because it was like French scientists, and they had been digging trenches and taking readings and studying and doing all that stuff, and they actually predicted that there was going to be a major earthquake and that it's probably going to happen right in this area, which is exactly where it happened. And that was only like a week or two before this actually happened.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, they predicted it. And I mean, I don't know.
No. So world's top scientists
Right.
converge on said spot of horrific disaster, avalanches, which, God, you know, how bad would it suck to be on, you know, Everest? And you know there was just an earthquake, and you're thinking you're about halfway up, and you're thinking about the snowpack. What terrible feeling, because there's no escaping that.
No, if there's a bunch of snow,
I mean, no escaping.
No.
You might as well, junk in hand,
Yeah,
camera out,
and just wait for it.
and come on, baby. But it's really, really, really weird, really coincidental
It is.
that all these scientists were in Nepal the week before, and talking about, you know, probably the effects that it would have.
Well, they were studying, because
They
they
said
know
it would
about
be a
this.
disaster.
Well, they know about this fault line, and supposedly they were studying it, and because there have been earthquakes there before,
Right,
obviously, and
obviously.
I guess they were trying to find the patterns or whatever they were doing. For some reason, they were there studying this particular
Yeah, but
fault line at this particular time, and these one scientist, they actually said that, I mean, they said it was going to happen. They said where it was going to happen.
they said it was going to
everything.
be a disaster if it did happen because of the structures.
Right.
And, you know, so it's all weird that they went and, you know, try to see what kind of damage would happen if an earthquake happened. I'm sorry, coincidences to me are always bullshit. And it doesn't seem possible, feasible, plausible. It's not, you know, the week before.
Right.
The week before.
Yeah, and it was actually researchers from lots of different areas that were there, but just one of them was the one team actually pinpointed where it was going to happen. But they also said that they didn't think that this earthquake.
So there's one that had like the Jeff Goldblum character. And he's just
guess so.
he's just like, I'm telling you.
It's right here.
You have to listen.
See this area?
Because I saw a Yeti. The Yeti crapped a gold turd. The gold turd then turned into a liquid metal. I took the liquid metal to the one-eyed raven. The one-eyed raven called to me, and because of all this, there's going to be an earthquake.
Right here.
Right here in this spot, right now.
Well, anyway, they said that they didn't think that it was enough to rupture or to let go all the pressure, so they're expecting another big earthquake in the coming decades, they said. So,
Awesome.
I mean, not right now.
I kind of understand that, though. One time doesn't always get all the pressure away. You got to do it many times.
You know, if you were a superhero, your name would be Mr. Innuendo.
Mr. Innuendo.
Yes. That would be your superhero name. You can make an innuendo out of anything.
You know what? Maybe that's because the pressure hasn't been released.
Well, sort of along the same lines, I just want to throw this in here because it's one of those things that we talk about sometimes, the Yellowstone Supervolcano.
I like that. Supervolcano.
Because nobody's actually said that there's a actual supervolcano, but you know, everybody believes that there is. But now they've actually
Do you like
found...
my Volcaneer word?
The what?
Volcaneer. We actually have somebody, hello Travis Molden, who keeps up with all the words that he says I create, and he's making
You create words, really?
a compendium of my words.
Of your words, like
Yeah, like Volcaneer.
yeah.
I
Stereotypist.
think it's great. But you know, like Mountaineer, you call me
Right.
Volcano, it's Volcaneer.
Well, okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
That's
sorry.
strange.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
so they've actually said that for sure there is a huge blob of magma down below the Yellowstone Supervolcano, and they had no idea how much magma was down there.
Right.
And it's actually, this big pocket of magma is big enough to fill the Grand Canyon 11 times, more than 11 times.
Wow.
That is how much lava is down there. Well, it's magma when it's down there, but that's
So
how
it's
much is
all
down there.
getting pressurized, and
Yeah.
it needs to blow Yogi to hell.
Well,
It's-
you know, I don't know if it. Do they really think it's going to blow
Yeah.
sometime? Like,
Yeah.
is there a timetable
Have you
on
never
that?
watched TV past midnight?
Not
that's
very
like-
often.
Well, I'm just saying, mega disasters. That's right. Are you comfortable right now in your chair Are you not worried about anything? Are you pretty happy with your life? Well, don't be, because you're all gonna die. You know, it's that. Sorry, we probably had a beep just now.
Well,
but it's just one of those things where they try to scare the piss out of everybody.
Well, this is pretty scary because they used to think it was just like a little bit of magma, and now it's. I mean, because I saw a map once where they said if this volcano blows, these are the areas that are going to be affected. And I was like, oh, we don't live close enough to that. That's no big deal. But now, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Earth changing.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's, you know.
I hope it doesn't blow like in our lifetime.
I don't know.
I mean, isn't that what all the
Dinosaurs?
No,
Oh.
I wasn't even going there. In Yellowstone, they have the geysers and stuff. Doesn't that relieve the pressure so that the volcano doesn't blow?
A little bit. I mean, a little bit. It's like, that's like a land queef. I mean, it's not really.
Mr. Innuendo.
It's not really, I mean, come on.
I guess.
The geysers aren't going to do that much, not for, you know, city of magma.
I guess
And you have
not.
the little, I mean, that's not going
Like a
to,
little fart.
yeah, it's not going to do much.
I guess not. Well, let's just hope. Well, we still don't live near there, but still,
Yeah.
I still think it would. Ugh,
Oh, yeah, it'd kill millions of people. It'd be
yes, it would.
terrible.
It would be horrible.
Probably end up throwing California into sea, too. It's that set off the earthquake, and yeah. Really.
I feel bad about that.
I do, too.
Do I look like I feel bad?
Yeah, you look like you feel terrible about it.
All right. Well, we did say that there was going to be, we were going to talk about conspiracy theories a little bit.
Conspiracy theories.
So let's go ahead and get into some conspiracy things that are going on, because we do talk about that sort of sometimes. That was gross. So we're going to start with, you know, we've always talked about these mysterious booms and the noises that nobody could explain and that nobody's ever explained them. And now you have all this area where you hear this mysterious booms and these things are going on.
Right.
And they've done the Walmarts being closed.
Right.
Right. So seems like a totally not related thing. Not related thing at all. But then you also have videos of military. Tons and tons of military
Right.
heading to that area.
Right.
And you have just crazy, crazy things going on. So let's talk about the Walmart things first.
Okay.
Okay, so how many Walmarts did they close? Like 5, 6, a bunch.
Right.
And suspiciously, they all have plumbing problems.
Right. All have the same plumbing problems.
Right, but
But they're in different parts of the country.
yes, and none of those Walmarts have filed for any kind of permits to do
Right.
any kind of plumbing work. They've got everything blocked off. The only time people can go there is if they need to pick up a prescription from the pharmacy, but I say that'll get cut off.
Yeah, pharmacy
eventually.
open, Walmart closed. People are seeing military equipment behind the Walmarts.
Right.
They did too much severance packages to the employees. Didn't tell them
2 months.
anything. Transferred the managers out of the stores, and they didn't tell anybody crap. And
And there are police officers there
police
letting
officers,
people in and out.
when you go into the pharmacy, they've got blockades where you can't see inside anywhere else in the Walmart. Now, interestingly enough, Walmart is under contract, just like these football stadiums and everything, allegedly. Just like when Katrina happened, everybody went to the Superdome or whatever.
Right.
For, you know, with Homeland Security in case they have to use it. So what better place, really, to have something, you know, not really maybe like a FEMA camp scenario, but more like, let's have the tunnel lead here, you know?
Right.
We can let the military travel, because they've been talking for years about letting the military travel underneath,
Right.
you know, in tunnels.
Right, and that's where it comes in with the mysterious booms,
Right.
where everybody that hears the mysterious booms have no idea where it's coming from. And I think you've actually said before
Many times.
that it's coming from underground.
Right. Everybody talks about, they think the mysterious booms come from the sky and flashes are involved or whatever. That could be
Right.
true, you know, about the flashes and stuff. But it seems like some people experience with the mysterious booms are explosions. Well, you know, if there's something deep underground doing explosions, building tunnels, and the humming sound, well, it lasted for months, you know. What if, just what if, allegedly, you know,
Have to throw that allegedly in there.
they've been, you know, building tunnels throughout underneath the United States, unbeknownst to the public, because they would never do that.
No,
And
of course not.
you know, so the weird thing is, all this probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, the mysterious booms make us go, huh? But so does everything else that happens. You know, there's so many
Right.
mysteries in the world that, you know, they're just kind of like, oh God, that's weird. And then we forget about it, you know, and watch some porn. It's just the way things are. But what if all this stuff kind of intersected and it somewhat made sense?
Yeah, it kind of, once you start putting all of the individual things together, they do kind of make sense.
See, there was a map in 2004, like on some random website somewhere,
Right.
Where it was supposed to be leaked, you know, 11 years ago, where it was showing the tunnels underneath, the military tunnels.
Right, where they can move troops and equipment and food and everything they need to secretly without anybody knowing.
Right. Just so happens that some of these areas coincide with this new military training initiative that they're doing for 6 months called Jade Helm 15. Jade Helm 15 is this military
Training exercise is
training
what they
exercise.
say. Yeah.
And the training exercise is for 6 months, like I said, and it's going. They've got a map of where it's going to be. Like they got Texas as hostile territory. They have, you know, where they're doing the things right now, where they're practicing taking citizens to
Yeah,
camps.
all the different exercises. They're like kind of on
Right.
the thing. And all the places that they're doing this military exercise are the same places that these Walmarts are closed. There's 2 in Texas,
Right.
One in California, Oklahoma, and 1 in Florida.
Yeah.
And these are all the same areas that this 6-month exercise is taking place,
Right.
where these Walmarts are closed for,
For
6
6 months.
I mean, how do they don't think people are going to put that
I
together?
don't know. I mean, if it is coincidental, then it's coincidental. So what? I'm not losing any face by saying it. I'm
Right.
just pointing out the fact that whether or not it's connected, it sure is strange
It is.
that these things are taking place at the same time. I try not to jump on every conspiracy because it's a dangerous, slippery slope. When you first have when you first wake up or have your eyes opened to the fact that there may be, some conspiracies out there, there may be a one world government, or they may be stuff going on behind the scenes that we never really realized before. When you first have that Kennedy assassination moment, when you start reading and adding stuff up, when you first watch your first 9/11 documentary, and you start thinking, well shit, that could totally happen. That could be possible. There's a lot of money involved. And what you got to be careful about is, this one might be true, and we might find out that conspiracy actually was true. And that happens sometimes. Gulf of Tonkin incident, things that lead us into wars. Historically, America has had a lot of false flags that have led us into war because it's a business.
Right.
And they need things to make us go, oh, we hate that purple man. That purple man blew up Jesus, And so we all go after the purple man. And they've got to have stuff out there, and they put everything on TV just to lead you to that one purple man. And they'll show his face all day, all night, raping your dogs, or, stealing your jobs or whatever. That purple man's doing that because they want you to say, you take my freedoms. I'm scared of the purple guy coming in tonight through a window and taking my wife, So take all my freedoms. Let me sign this over. Let me put this in. Yeah, that's okay. You can listen to my phone calls. I don't give a damn. Until you give a damn. Until like
it's
8
too late.
years later, when you send a dick pic of yourself to your mistress and you find out that the CIA or the NSA can freaking see it. And then it bothers you. And
then it's too late.
And it's too late
Yes.
because you've already signed over this crap. So, but what I'm saying about being careful is when you find out one of these things is true, it's easy to listen to some wacko and he'll say, well, that was true. So obviously the ETs are using the meat puppet of Obama with their hand up his ass. And, he's not really there. It's easy to buy into all of it because the one thing was true.
Right.
So we try to be really careful. That's why we don't talk about the conspiracies that much. That's why we
Right.
say, oh, damn, the government's mean, and we kind of go off of it. But sometimes all that stuff kind of interconnects, and you're like, damn, that one could be true.
Could be true.
That one could happen.
Well, something else that was weird about it is there was an article in the Washington Post, and they were talking about this, and the article of the The headline of the article was Jade Helm 15, a military exercise brings wild speculation in Texas about martial law.
Right.
Because that's what everybody's saying. And in the article, they actually call it a made-up military mission.
Right.
Which isn't really true because they sent all that military there. They're doing something.
Well, the thing about Jade Helm, they put the press release out
Right.
that they're doing Jade Helm 15. It's a real thing.
Yeah, well,
okay. The crazy, stupid thing about it is what they're training. They're trying to train these military personnel to be able to blend in with normal citizens undetected.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you have to do that?
Why would you have to blend in with American
Why
citizens?
would you have to blend in with American citizens?
That doesn't seem like a very hard challenge.
I mean, does it?
No, you just put on your regular clothes.
And you blend in.
And there you go. Well, this same article also said that it talked about the map. It said that the events for the exercise were outlined in a map among unclassified documents posted online last month, and that the Army sources actually verified that map was legitimate. So here they said it was a made-up mission, but then the Army's verified that is a legitimate map. But they also tried to say that the whole operation was going to take place, it says almost entirely, on private land leased to the Army by the owner. So almost entirely doesn't mean entirely. It means almost entirely, which leaves you that gateway to not be there.
That means I almost didn't cheat on you.
Yeah. They also said that the participants won't be trying to sneak through the population, that they would be wearing orange armbands signaling that they're part of this exercise, which you could be true or not true. How would you know? Because the ones that dress normally would just look normal, like Americans. It's not the same as trying to blend in a foreign country. So, I mean, who knows? There's a lot of speculation. I mean, maybe it's just an exercise and it'll be over in 6 months, but maybe
they're practicing for martial law.
It could be.
You know, and you see some other events that happen that make you think, okay, well, martial law in small doses might not be the worst idea at certain times.
Right.
You know, but
there's that slippery slope again.
Yeah, it is. It's a slippery slope. And you have to wonder how many things that they entice themselves. How many things do they incite? How many times do they send their own people in to, hey, let's go burn down the store instead of a peaceful protest.
Right.
You know, because it would be really easy to pay some guys and go, you know, if we can burn the city down tonight, then there's going to be people that are scared and they're going to be like, hey.
Well, you know, there's those people that have picked out all the disasters.
Let's go shoot up this school and see if we can't get people to take guns away.
Yeah, well, you have all those disasters where people have taken pictures of the same people at all the disasters.
Yeah,
so either they're the unluckiest people in the whole world.
Well, I mean, I'm not so sure about all that stuff. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not either.
I'm not so sure about that. I can't even get a beat on it. I think so much of my heart wants to think that kind of crap wouldn't happen.
Right.
But so much of my mind realizes that greed and power rule the world.
And part of you probably really doesn't want to know.
Yeah, and a big part of me doesn't want to know. You're right.
Like, I don't want to know.
I don't really want to know, but I also want to be prepared in case I have to be. But like I've said a million times, and I'll say it on record right now, if they start handing out the chips on your forehead, I'm going to be first in line because I like to be close to my enemy, you know, and know my enemy. You know, art of war, you know your enemy. So definitely I could blend in with, you know, anything.
Blend.
So
you could blend.
It's a crazy story, but you know, it might just all be caca. But at least you look at it and think about it, and that's all we're saying, is just go,
Just think about it, yeah. So that's the whole conspiracy theory bit that we kind of touched on. That's a little more than we touch on conspiracy theories.
Ever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like in public, if you will.
So.
We touch on them quite a bit in private.
Well, you know, private, except the government's listening.
Yes.
So.
And
sort of private.
Yeah, and somebody's always like up here too. It's weird.
So anyway. Do you think that the whole thing that's going on in Baltimore, do you think that was like what you were talking about, where they...
Oh, the stuff that happened like a week ago?
Yeah, sent people in.
I don't know.
With the riots and the...
I don't know. You know, I don't even like to really touch on it so much because I'm so... And you are, I mean, we are so not partial to a race or a credo or any, you know, I mean, we are very just like, we're all people. That's just how we are.
Yes.
You know, our daughter doesn't even realize the difference. Like if there's a black man and a white man standing there, she'll say, the fat guy. You know, I mean, it's like she doesn't even realize
Right.
any of that, and she wouldn't say fat either. I don't think I've ever heard that word out of her
No,
mouth.
she doesn't like me to say it.
Yeah,
She
she
don't say
doesn't.
that.
She doesn't realize that stuff because that's how we raised her. And it'd be nice, you know, if other people raised their children like that. But unfortunately, we don't live in that kind of society where people allow people to do what they feel they want to do.
Well, she doesn't learn that stuff at like she's homeschooled.
Right.
So she
So
doesn't
yeah.
pick
So
up
I don't
those
know, man.
things.
I don't know. It's a sad event, and everything that caused it is sad. And I think that things may have went too far, but I can see, you know, I heard there was one leader in the black community that actually said something, and this is really off from what our normal show would be, but just saying, he said something that was very, very intelligent. He said, you know, at 40 years old, and this is just paraphrasing, at 40 years old, you're more likely to take an atrocity or take something, you know, and move on. You can look at stuff happening and go, oh God, that's terrible, and move on.
Right.
At 14 years old, you're not like that. You're kind of like, F the man.
Everything's the end of the world.
Holy cow, because he's like, you know, look at what, if you just look at the last 3 years, you know, they've seen this guy kill this guy, no consequences, get off scot-free. This guy kill this guy, no consequences, get off scot-free, and so on and so forth. So when you're 14, 15 years old, you're like, holy cow, if I wear this hoodie, I'm going to get gunned down.
Yeah, well, that's because it's been their whole life almost.
So if you look at that way, then you can kind of see what would make people angry.
Right.
You know, there's always an argument on both sides. It's what our show's called. There's your side, my side, and the truth, the third side. You know, so it's hard to find that third side sometimes.
I will just point out a funny little coincidence about that a couple weeks ago is the weekend before all that stuff happened in Baltimore, all the rioting and stuff, that weekend in Baltimore was the first ever WouijaCon, which was a whole convention celebrating the Ouija board, which I thought was really funny.
Wait a second. Hold on. Here I'm having a moment.
Yes.
I'm having a non-John.
I wasn't trying to get that deep into it, but you sort of ran with it.
I'm having like a non-titty joke moment.
Yes.
You know, I'm actually having a moment where I'm not thinking about taking my shoe off and running it up your leg. That kind of moment.
Right.
Those are rare.
Yes, I know.
Those are rare. When you're not.
Did I ruin it?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Because now, all I can think about is WouijaCon.
Well, I was trying to ease into it, and I didn't know you were going to like take the ball with the Baltimore thing and run with it. But then once you started, I just let you go.
Oh, yeah. I was a Raven for a second.
And,
I went to the end zone. I spiked it like Ray Lewis. And then you bring WouijaCon. You know, you got to tell me that shit first.
Well, I don't like to tell you the stuff first because I like your real reaction.
Well, this is a real reaction.
Yes, I see that.
So they had a WouijaCon.
Yes.
UEG-Con or Uaja, well, if you whatever Zach Baggins calls
you
it.
say it.
So they had a WouijaCon the weekend
like people
before the riots.
Yes, people were actually like saying, "Oh, I hope you got away from WouijaCon okay and didn't have to drive through the after the weekend." And
so I can only imagine.
I thought that was a funny.
I can only imagine the people that would attend WouijaCon because we've been to a lot of paranormal conventions.
Yes.
We've given documentaries out to some of you folks. Other than the ones watching or listening to the show right now, there's some crazies at the cons. They see Paracon, you know, because we've been to some, and I won't say the name of them, but we get some people that come up to the booth and go, I need to tell you about the time that my uncle's ghost came into my bedroom, and, you know, you're like, oh, no, don't.
Yeah, too much information.
No, Chip Coffey's three tables
was
down.
There. He was at WouijaCon.
Of course Chip Coffey was at WouijaCon. Damn it.
Well, I'd like to take this moment just to say, because there's a big controversy about Ouija boards.
Yeah,
I don't have anything.
If you have some people in there from,
Yeah.
Just imagine the Bass Pro guys.
Yeah,
the Bass Pro guys come in
that's
there
what I
to
was
go to
going to point
WouijaCon.
out.
Yeah, and they're just like, hey, hey, I just we got a couple minutes here before we go down and get Bass Pro going on. Hey man, I got my Cummins diesel outside right now. It's still running, but man, what's this little board right here? I saw the movie. Yeah, man, that Ouija movie is really cool with all these people die. Hey, hold on a second. Let me see. Is the ghost of my daddy's ding dong in here? I mean, when that happens, it's a gateway. It's a doorway.
Well, that's the problem. Like, there's not anything wrong with Ouija boards per se. They're just tools, like
Right.
everything else. It's when you have people that don't know how to use it, or they don't respect it, or they don't think it's real,
Or open and close it.
and
or,
they just use it. Or I hate it when they make them for kids. I hate when they make Ouija boards for kids and then give them to little kids who don't know what they're doing. Because they work if you use it.
Right.
If you don't use it, it's just a thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, you could have some crazy people in there that didn't. The worst are the ones that don't think that it's real.
Right.
And they don't believe that it's going to work. And they
That's
do
the ones they
all
wait
their
for.
theatrical things
That's-
to make it sound all.
I mean, that's the ones that are
Theatrical.
waiting, that they wait for. And I mean,
So interesting little coincidental tidbit there.
yeah, it's weird that there was a city burn right after WouijaCon. Very cool. I mean, it could just be a coincidence, though.
It could be. We're saying the word coincidence a lot this week, aren't
Maybe
we?
that's the title of the show. Coincidence.
I don't know if it's going to be or not. We never title them until after, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay, so let's move on to just a nice story. No more conspiracies, no more coincidence. Nice story. You ready to cool off?
I'm good.
You're a little flushed
I'm
there.
good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So this is a story about a Utah woman who
Oh, this one's already.
she went to work one day, and she was just out about doing her thing, and she got this really funny feeling that she needed to go home and check on her husband. Call it women's intuition.
Couldn't she have called and asked
call
one
it
of the
a
other wives to
psychic.
check on him?
But I don't think just because they live in Utah doesn't mean that they're polygamists.
I thought they
or
all
Mormons.
were.
No.
I thought that's where you moved, like when you want to have more than
That's
one
like
wife.
saying that all people that live in Southwest Virginia are rednecks.
Like I said, I thought that they were all married to numerous wives.
Anyway,
Like, I've thought about how cool that would be. Then I think about marriage. Like, if you could move somewhere and have like 12 willing girlfriends, that'd be completely different.
pretty sure you can have 12 girlfriends no matter where you're at. There's no law how many girlfriends you can have. You just as long as the girlfriends agree.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
what I'm
can't be
saying.
married to.
That's what I'm saying. I want to go where they're bred and they know, like, hey. No, I don't want to go there. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
if I was that way, that's terrible. It's horrible.
Anyway,
Anyway,
she was at work and she got this really funny feeling that she needed to go see him. She needed to go home, not call. She needed to go home. And he was actually at home in the garage working on the car. So she went straight home. She didn't wait. She just she acted on it. She's like, I gotta go.
Right.
And so she went home, and as soon as she pulled into the driveway, she knew that something was wrong. And she got out and went in the garage, and the car was on him. Like it had fallen on him.
oh,
And he couldn't hardly breathe, and he couldn't move, and he couldn't get to the phone, and he couldn't do anything. And so
Jeez.
she called 911, and a neighbor came, and they helped jack the car up, and he's fine now. He has 6 broken ribs, but he's going to make a full recovery. But, I mean, if she hadn't gone home, who knows how long he would have laid there. And, eventually that would have killed him, I would think.
wow. So there's some, that could be some paranormal activity crap going on there, too.
I mean, she just
That's-
got that. I mean, I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people where you get
Yeah,
that weird
that
feeling.
happens a lot. I mean, that happens like
Yeah.
with mothers a lot.
Yeah.
They get this instinct, this intuition feeling. It's psychic ability. You can
Well,
call
yeah.
it what the hell you want to call it.
It's a type of psychic
But,
ability,
just
yes.
like when, the biggest case of that would be when, like during some of the Great Wars,
Mm-hmm.
when the women were at home and then all of a sudden they really have felt a cold rush come over them.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know, dozens, hundreds maybe, stories like that of the woman feeling that cold rush of air or whatever, and they know kind of something happened, and maybe their husband died or had
was
some
injured or
something
something.
happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, this psychic ability happens, and we were talking about the other night. I was trying to teach somebody about turning their psi on or off, and it's like the unconscious mind takes care of so much of that. It's like when you somehow harness and be able to, because we all have it.
Right.
It's just some of us are tuned in.
Yes. Well, I thought this was a really cool story because, he said he was just laying there and he was just praying for her to come home. Like he was actually thinking, I wish my wife would come home,
Wow.
I wish, and then
Wow, that's gotta be
something
wh-
intervened there.
That could be what it was.
Yeah,
'Cause
that he was
how many
asking.
husbands get to be home alone and it's like
And wish for their
"God,
wife to
I
come
wish
home."
my wife was here. Yeah, something happened. Like, did you hear that? We need to act on it right. I'm just playing. I do that for the guys out there.
Yes, I know.
I mean,
I
yeah.
know. Okay, anyway.
I got it.
So let's move on. I thought that was a really cool story anyway. So Let's move on.
So I want to tell a story.
Okay.
So this is funny. Everybody knows out there, well, maybe you don't. I'll just pretend that you do. That I wear many hats. You know, I've done the wrestling, the singing, the gigoloing. I've done all that stuff. And I have like this day job that we won't talk about because I don't mention it. I don't ever mix them. But I'm a fairly important dude. And so I get a call the other day.
Oh, this is funny.
I get a call the other day, a random call from another boss type person at another area, quite a long ways away. But
for the same company.
For the same company that I work for. He's like, man, because I'm up for a bigger boss type job.
A promotion.
Yes.
You can say that.
So I've been working my tail off for it for a while, and so I get this call, and he's just like, and I don't talk to this guy at all. He's like, man, I heard this nasty rumor. I was like, what'd you hear? He's like, I just wanted to call and tell you it was stupid. You've worked too hard. You've done too much. What did you hear? He's like, I heard you were leaving the company. I was like, what? I was like, where am I going, dare say? And he said, Bass Pro Shop. So obviously there's a fan out there or a listener. I was like, let me assure you, dear friend, if I were to leave.
But you're not.
If I were to go somewhere, I probably wouldn't go to Bass Pro.
I doubt Bass Pro would hire you if they ever heard our show.
Oh my God. And you know what? I love a lot of the guys that go there. There's just the diesel dicks that, there's just a few people that
you like to make fun of.
I like to make fun of, and I make fun of everybody, so it's all wonderful.
I just think that's a funny joke.
That is a funny, crazy.
I know you didn't think it was real funny at the time.
I didn't find it too humorous at the moment that it happened.
You know how rumors are with companies, though. He had to email his boss right away and say, it's just a rumor. That's funny. Anyway, good story. Okay, so let's move on. I have this article here. It's a contest. Right. Where you can name an alien planet, one of the exoplanets.
Yay!
Well,
they ran out of stars, I guess.
Sorta. It's a contest, but it's actually the only people that are allowed to suggest names are astronomy clubs and non-profits. But everybody in the general public gets to vote on the ones that are proposed.
The NFL just missed their chance of naming planets. They just took themselves off non-profit list.
Well, I don't know why they limited it to astronomy clubs and non-profits. Probably because they didn't want a million entries of Gallifrey or,
Why wouldn't you want Gallifrey?
No, I'm just saying, the general public would probably.
They better name one Gallifrey.
I don't know.
They better name one Hoth.
I think that's funny. But anyway, there's a website that you can go to, and after all the names are
I would name
submitted,
one Mayanus, so you can have Mayanus and Uranus. They could be sister planets.
Okay. So after they propose the names, they're going to list them on the website. Then you can go.
I'd have like Neil and Bob.
You can vote on proposed names. That's funny. And then the final results are going to be announced at the 29th General Assembly in Honolulu of the IAU, and that's in August. So you get to vote starting in June for a few months, and then they'll pick all the names. And there's more than one, so there's going to be quite a few names that get to be picked, and I don't know. It's a cool contest.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. So somebody picks the name, and then we meet aliens from that planet. Are they going to be kind of pissed that we renamed their planet? I mean, because we're pretentious enough that we're going to argue with them.
You'd be like,
no, sorry, Greenie.
Sorry, you're from Hoth. You're a Hothian.
That planet's already been named, but we've been around for billions of years longer than you.
Let them give them good names instead of names like D627X. I mean, they give them stupid names. I always
hate that.
You can't remember them.
Yeah, you can't.
All right. Well, I have one more story for you.
All right.
One more. This one, you're going to love this one. This is a story about a French company that is planning.
Is it called Tickler?
No, it is not called Tickler. I don't know what the name of the company is called, but they plan to make a custom perfume that smells like your loved one. It's a way for you to immortalize the scent of your dead relative.
So they'd make one with you that'd be Scold and Regret.
I think that'd be you. But pretty much what they do is they are going to try and work with funeral homes and stuff. They'll take like something that belonged to the relative that smelled like them, a piece of clothing or something of that sort.
I'd be like, are we talking shower days or non-shower days for her? Because if we're talking shower days, then great. It's going to smell like, soaps and love. And if we're talking the other 6 days of the week, I'm just playing.
That was me.
No, I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about most guys again. Most guys. There's a category for most guys.
Anyway, they haven't like told what their process is, but there's some kind of distillation process that they do where they extract the scent from this and they turn it into a perfume. So I guess you can spray it and smell it or wear it or...
People always tell me I smell really good. Yeah. That might be like a good scent.
Yeah, but see, your scent, I would just buy your cologne.
Well, no, I'm just saying, no, it's not just my cologne. It's not just my cologne.
No, it's not.
It's my 51st century pheromones.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. I've got like pheromones of the gods.
I don't know why. I mean,
there's women faint. Like it don't matter what. I can gain 400 pounds and I still get around the right one. It just happens. Guys do it. It's just I got good pheromones. I think I might market this.
You might. You could get your own perfume. Just pay these people. It costs $600.
Okay, I don't need it that bad.
I just don't know why someone would want the scent of Uncle Frank. I want the ode of peppermint and cheap cigars or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I don't understand.
Exactly.
But supposedly they say that the sense of smell is deeply tied to memory.
Lotion and sweaty body part. Why do you smell like that, Uncle Frank? Why is there a weird combination of Vaseline intensive care and the inner thigh?
There's a disturbing line in this article, though.
Because that's the most disturbing. You talk about that's the worst smell ever. Isn't that weird? How bad sex can smell. Afterwards?
What if your loved one was like a mechanic?
We've seen our kids come in the room afterwards and yeah. What happened in here? Yeah, and then I light the vanilla candle to cover it all. And they're like, oh.
Daddy's muscle medicine.
Yeah.
It smells terrible. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I've told them that for so many years. My kids think I get so rubbed down with muscle stuff. They're just like, they probably never buy it. They'll be like, when they'll get older and their muscles will be hurting, they'll be like, oh God, let's don't buy that crap. That crap smells bad. It smells like jizz. I'm not going to buy that. Because that's always been our excuse. Daddy's hurting.
I think we're giving away a little too much information.
Mommy's going to rub it. I love our people that watch. They need to know. Maybe they need a good excuse. Rubbing Daddy down with the muscle rub pretty much works. Yeah.
Well, anyway, in this article, there is a line that mentions that there might be other applications for this type of product, including to aid with parent-child bonding or romantic attachment. I'm sorry, that sounds a little bit like you want to spray somebody with something so that they like you. Does that not what that sounds like? I don't think that'd be a good application at all. But anyway.
I like girls that smell like tanning lotion.
So they're hoping to start, by September, they're hoping to start offering their service to grieving families through funeral homes, but it does cost about $600 for a bottle of scent of your loved one.
Yeah.
So there you go. I do want to point out that it has been pointed out to me several times that there is also another product on the market for your dead loved one, for their ashes. Forget the urn. Forget the putting them in a tree. You can now put their ashes in a dildo. No. I just want to mark that off the list right now.
But...
Yes, I was told that you would like this idea very much.
Of course I do. I think we should go now, while I'm still virile, and get a plaster caster and have
Oh my God.
have it ready.
It's not like that. They have their own containers. You don't get to make your own container.
Oh, so they don't actually they don't have me dip it.
No, it's a special container. They just burn you and put you in the specialized container.
Oh, well, that's different. I mean, that's completely different.
You're wanting a plaster cast of your
I
thingy.
always have. I want a rubber one. I want a metal one. I want one that plays music.
That's fine. I'll just start selling them online.
You know, like the toothbrushes that play like the top kid hits. I want something that like plays my favorite song while you're.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Like you get it and you're enjoying that moment, and it's like, mother,
You know,
tell your children not to walk my way. You know what I mean?
this show started off so serious.
It's just, it was. But I wonder if he'd be like, well, I'd be like, hear my words and believe what they say.
I think we should stop there.
Well, thank you very much
welcome.
for the news. Well, what a show we had today. It was,
I tried to be serious.
well, I mean, we were serious.
Straightforward.
We had serious moments.
You know what it is? It must be a phenomenon. The more serious you are at the beginning of the show, the crazier it gets at the end.
It's like
there
this-
must be a name for that.
It's like those volcanoes.
Yeah.
You have to let that crap out. I mean, if you're like all stuffy all the time, eventually it's just going to turn into like,
An
you know,
explosion?
brrr. Yeah, it's going to turn into that. ThirdSideParanormal.com. That's the address to go and find most of the stuff we didn't talk about today. Did I say about twice? Facebook.com/
Just, no, I didn't say anything. You just keep going.
You didn't say my name?
No.
All right. Really?
Really?
That's weird. Facebook.com/ThirdSide. Totally heard it in my ear. Yeah, that's really weird. That's really weird. I'm going to continue on with this and not cut it. That's kind of cool. Twitter @3SidePara. That's the number 3. Side Para.
I wonder if people listening on iTunes wonder what that noise is every time you do the Twitter.
I hope they think it's a clicker. Because that's what I'm going for.
Is that what you're
I
going
don't know
for?
what they do for
It
that.
sounds like a clicker.
What do you use clickers for?
I don't
Just
know.
counting people, like when you're putting them into the containment camps?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, okay. And if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe because we want you to be our subs. And on iTunes, subscribe there as well. And if you're on iTunes, watch the YouTube. And if you're blah, 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 it did go to boo-boo. All right. Well, for my lovely wife, Stacey, this has been a hell of a show. My name's John Edwards, and so long from the third side.
Good night.